Hey everyone, it's Tim from Linessa Farms Specialty and Heirloom Livestock. Thanks for joining us again today. As always, you can contact us on our website at www.linessafarms.com. Send us an email at customerservice@linessafarms.com or send us a text or give us a call at the number listed below. Today we're continuing our livestock health series talking about sheep hoof trimming. We appreciate your feedback. The videos that we make are made specifically for you based off the questions we receive. Please consider subscribing to our channel. It helps us out immensely. And if you enjoy the video, please consider giving us a thumbs up. Without further delay, let's get started talking about sheep hoof trimming. Well, before we get started directly into the video, I wanted to touch bases with you about a few different terms that we're going to use, and I wanted to show you a couple pictures that will give you more of a close-up view of what I'm actually doing during the video. The first one that you'll see here is the sheep lounge chair. I'm going to refer to this lounge chair during the video, and I just want to show you a picture of a sheep actually in this apparatus to show you what it looks like. As I said in the video, these things work great for certain size sheep, but for the bigger ones it just doesn't work very well. You can get these on Premier, and they're the only store that I know of that actually sells them, but if you've only got a couple sheep, these things are a bit pricey. I want to say they're well north of $100. Probably not worth it for you. The next thing I want to show you is a picture of a sheep's hoof. So when you're looking at the bottom of the hoof, this is essentially what it's going to look like. Now the area that I highlighted here in purple is the area that we're going to be trimming today. It's a toenail, just like our fingernails and toenails grow out. The sheep's toenails, or hoof nails that is to say, grow out in this purple area. And you'll see that. Now when I refer to the pad, that is this area right here in the pink. So you're going to trim down those outside edges until they're approximately flush with the pad or this pink area here. Again, I don't trim it all the way down. Some people are going to say, oh well, I trim them all the way down to the quick. You know, when you cut your fingernails at home, you don't cut them down till they bleed, you cut them close. And it's the same thing with the sheep. They're going to be walking around on nasty ground all the time. Why cut them to the point that you're going to open them up for infection? The last thing I wanted to touch bases with is this red area right here that you'll see. And this red area represents where you're going to see generally if the sheep has hoof rot or some kind of disease in this area between the two toes. You're going to see it'll be red, inflamed, open, bleeding, scabby, sore, whatever. If you see any open wounds in this area, you've got a problem and you probably need to consult a veterinarian. If not, just do your best to clean them out, and here we go with the video.
Alright, so we're getting ready to go outside to show you how to trim some hooves. I apologize for my appearance, but it's like 10 degrees outside, so you'll have to get over it. So I just want to go over some of the tools that you're going to need to do this. This lovely apparatus, you can see these online. Premier has these. It's kind of like your sheep lounge chair, and this thing works great. As you can see, I got these little hooks on here, and I could put this up against the fence wall, take my animal back and lay them on it, and then basically just take my time and trim their hooves or do whatever I need to do with them. And that's great if you've got sheep that weigh anywhere from maybe like 150 pounds to 200 pounds. Unfortunately, I've got some sheep out there that are pushing 300, and that's an issue. They're not going to fit in this thing. It's just not going to happen. So, and these are expensive. So for those of you that are just getting started, it is not going to be worth your while to buy one of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you do it old school style. If you don't have these nice expensive apparatus, and actually the way I'm going to show you is going to be a little bit easier. So the first thing that I have is this little hoof picking tool. It's got the pick on one end and the brush on another. Farriers use these for horses. If you don't want to spend the money on one of these tools, go to the store and get yourself a 99-cent can opener, and the pick end of a can opener, the old school can openers, works just as well. So you definitely want to have some kind of a pick. You notice the end on here is blunt. You don't want a sharp end because when you're digging into the hoof, you don't want to actually cut into them. So I've got that. And then different styles of hoof trimming tools. This is probably the oldest style that's still around out there. I don't use these. I use these smaller ones. If you have one of these, you can use it, that's fine. This is probably the preferred method. This is what you would get at like Rural King or like Tractor Supply. I recommend these. They're a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to use, so I would recommend going with these. These are, you know, kind of archaic, but regardless, before you use them, you want to make sure that they're clean and disinfected. And you don't want to use these sharp points here to be picking at the animal, because you're going to actually cause damage to the hoof and hurt them. And last but not least, you need a bucket, and we'll talk more about that when we get out there. So without further delay, let's go freeze outside and show you how to manhandle some sheep. Alright, so as you can see, we're in here with the sheep. We got all kinds of different sizes. I am going to trim the hooves on this big guy here. This is Linus. Linus is one of our breeding rams. He is, sorry about all the noise, but they think I've got feed in here. So Linus is one of our rams. He's probably high 200s, and as you can see, his head comes up to my mid-chest. So this guy is going to fit in one of those chairs. So in order to handle Linus, I'm going to utilize pressure points. So I've got my hand underneath his jaw right here when I'm handling him, and that kind of gets him to do what I want him to do. In order for me to trim his hooves, I'm going to have to flip him on his butt. And so to do that, I'm going to utilize a move where I'm going to take his head, I'm going to turn it back over his back, and then I'm going to push down on his rear end, and I'm going to flip him on his butt. Once I do that, I'm going to sit on my bucket, and I'm going to spoon him, basically. We're going to get cuddly, and then I'm going to trim his hooves. And so we'll see how this is going to go down. I'm going to bring him over here. Set my bucket, give my bucket to my helper there, and once I get him settled in, then I'll have my helper hand me the bucket, and we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, I've got him in position. I've got my hand underneath his jaw, right in the jaw line, and I'm going to take his head, I'm going to turn it back over his back, and while I'm doing that, I'm also going to push down on his rear end. So I'm going to turn and push down, and he is strong, and eventually he'll go down. I grabbed his front legs and I flip him over, just like that. Hopefully we got that. So now I'm going to take my bucket, set it down, and that's it, just like this. And he's comfy and I'm comfy, and I'm not bending over. So I've got my tools, and he's not going anywhere, as you can see. So I've got my tools. The first thing I'm going to do is get my pick out, and I'm not going to bore you with showing you all the feet, because essentially they're all done the same. You want to keep your face away from the foot. If he kicks out, he'll catch you, and it will wreck your day. But you can see his hooves. See how long they are? See how it's curled over? What I want to do is I want to get my pick end in there, and I want to just kind of clean that out. Like I said, keep your face clear. Sorry, buddy. Keep your face clear, because if he decides to kick, you're in trouble. So that's what I'm going to do. Just clean it out. While I'm doing that, I'm going to inspect in between the hoof. Make sure that it's clean. Get any gunk out of there. I wish I had smell-o-vision for you, because the word toe jam doesn't do any justice to the smell that you're gonna smell when you clean these things out. Okay, so I've got my ends again. I don't want to dig with these points. These points are sharp. A little at a time. You want to take a little off, and there's a pad that's down in there. It's all right, buddy. And you want to keep it flat with that pad, flush with that pad. And you just want to take a little off as you go. Now obviously a smaller sheep would be easier, but I didn't want to do easy. I wanted to do one of the more difficult ones to show you. Teaching you how to do it with an easy one isn't going to benefit anyone, and he's probably going to be the hardest one for numerous reasons. One, because he's so strong, and two, because he's so long. And this is where this bucket really comes in handy. Okay, so you can see I got one done. I'm going to do my second one. And he is unbelievably strong. So you can see these sharp points here. So it's no joke. You want to make sure you keep your face away from that thing, because if he were to get a hold of my face with one of these edges, I've seen it happen, he will lay you wide open. So that's it. You shouldn't see any blood. You shouldn't be in there digging. I see people cut these down to the quick, and it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason to do that. So now when you want to get a back leg, you reach down, grab that back leg, and essentially you're going to do the same thing. Take your tool, clean it out. Clean out that gunk. You can see how bad these back ones are. Usually the front ones are a little bit better than the back ones. But again, nice and quick, even with that pad. Don't cut yourself. You know, if you're doing this as often as you should be doing it, there's no need for you to trim them down super far. But it is necessary to trim these, because what's going to happen is if you don't, you're going to set yourself up for things like hoof rot and other bad things that can really hurt your flock. There's all kinds of fancy tools out there on the internet. You don't need them. This is what you need. You need, and you can see, get in here and look, you can see that I'm not all the way down to the pad, but I'm pretty close. I'm going to leave a little bit. If you're only going to do this a couple times a year, then you may be more inclined to trim a little closer. If you are going to trim a little closer, I recommend you bring some betadine out or some iodine or something like that. So if you do cut them down real quick, you want to make sure that you sanitize as much as you can. So that's it. I'm going to do the other 2 feet. Once I'm done, it's as simple as rolling him over. He gets up and walks away, and that's it. Whew. So, I'm Tim from Linessa Farms. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Linessa_Farms. And hey, don't forget, these videos are made specifically for you based off of your feedback. If there's a video that you want to see, if there's a question that you have, let us know and we will make a video just for you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.